Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Panzer B2. It's the Tier 4 German premium heavy tank. It's located on the north spawn of Halluf and it's under the command of Baked 123456. Now this is one of the tanks that the Germans captured, the Butte Panzers. They captured 161 Panzer, well not Panzers, but they were B1s, the German heavy, the French heavy tanks, and they used some of them, 16 of those, to convert into the Arty, the Leffy, the 105 Lef-H 18B2, and a lot of them were turned into flamethrower tanks. In fact, more of them were turned into flamethrower tanks than anything else. But they did actually capture some and turn them into training vehicles, or remove the 75mm gun that was actually located in the hull and just use it as a tank with a 47mm turret, which is basically what they used anyway to attack enemy tanks. Well, this Baked is not exactly looking where he's going. He's actually firing at the Valentine behind him, which is probably not a good idea because it means that he might end up losing any high caliber medal at the end of the game. Now that 47mm gun will do 52 alpha and penetrate 55mm of armor, and well, at tier 4 that's pretty good, but it means that really if you want to penetrate enemy tanks you probably need to use the APCR where you've got 90mm of penetration. Now the Valentine's coming behind him and it looks like he's actually giving support, proper support. They both got heavy armor. Oh, first shot on the BT7 is effective. He's now got an M8A1, but he's taking rounds from a BT7 Art to his right. We just fired an HE round into him, but he's just decimating that M8A1, which is one of the few tanks with a gun that can actually damage him. Okay, these guys over here on the corner have to go. The Valentine's decided to get in the way, which is useful because he's actually providing cover. You can see he did take some damage in the side of the vehicle. HE rounds went into the turret, in the cupola, which is a weak spot, and also into the side. But he's going to drive over there now and just wipe these guys out. And there's not a lot they can do about it because really, apart from firing HE at him, they really don't have much ability to penetrate him. He's going to go after that one who's running away as fast as he can, but he's still taking rounds. And there he goes, kill shot. And this BT7 Art's about to do the same. And he's also about to die. One more shot and he's gone. Okay, we've got another BT7 over here. He's being torn to shreds. These shots really do count in the end. He pulls out of view, so we go after the T116. And he's being slaughtered there. He's going after our Valentine. But look at this, just keeps pumping these shots in. 2.13 seconds between each shot. It's very, very fast. Now potentially I say, Baked has got his high caliber, but it remains to be seen if he actually gets it, because I'm afraid, as I said, he shot at his teammate earlier in the game. And if you fire a shot at your teammate, which would have caused damage, when team damage was allowed in the game, disqualifies you from getting a high caliber medal, and people just don't realise that, so they take pot shots at their teammates thinking it's all well and good and they can do that. He actually just killed that BT7 shooting underneath the friendly tank. Now he's having difficulty trying to pen this B1, same tank but less armour. He's going for the weak spots, the driver's port, the turret, trying to get that cupola. Also need to go for the 75mm gun port as well. That's a weak spot. There he goes, he's gone for it. And another kill, so he's now up to 4 kills. There's only 5 enemies left. And on the face of it, it looks like they're still back near the enemy cap, but I don't know why he's actually returning to his own cap. Bit odd this. He's still got his radio operator out of action. He probably wants to put that back in. In fact, a lot of people neglect to put back in their radio operators And that actually can have detrimental effects at the end of the battle, because when the experience is shared out amongst the crew, dead crew do not get experience. They do not receive their fair share. So you always need to put your crew back in order to ensure that each of them gets their fair amount of XP. I know a lot of people say, well, why should we bother with the radio operator? But yeah, I'm afraid it does reduce your radio range if you have a dead radio operator. This is very odd behaviour at the moment. Heading back to the cap. I wonder actually if his reasoning behind this, though, is that he's expecting the Matilda to turn up. Now, the Matilda is one of the few tanks in the game who actually does have a decent enough gun that could take him out. And, well, with only a limited amount of hit points left, he's probably thinking, I want to take out the Matilda whilst he's capping from a distance. I don't want him to get good shots on me. And if he drives over the other side of the valley, more than likely he is actually going to have difficulty trying to take that guy out. In fact, actually the results have now turned around the other way. There's only 3 of them left on his team, 5 on the enemy team. So the enemy's now winning. So actually coming back to the cap is actually working in their favour, because he can now sit up here watching over the cap, waiting for the Matilda to arrive. Now he can handle most of the other enemy tanks, including that Samur S35, which is another French tank, but it's fairly thin armour. Here comes the T29, puts 1 round into him at range. Panzer 1C or Panzer 1 Aslains gets a round into him. These guys are going to have to come to the cap if they're going to win the game, so they are going to have to expose themselves. And our guys a little further off are actually spotting for us the Panzer S35 and the T28. Well, the T28's an AFK. He's just sitting there doing nothing. Hopefully he's been reported. It looks like he's losing hit points, so somebody is shooting at him. It's probably an enemy we cannot see at the moment. And from the number of hit points he was losing, I suspect it might have been the Matilda who's actually been hitting him, because the Matilda's got a 55 alpha. There's the T116. Oh, nice kill. In fact, that was a big hit there on the T28, and he's gone. Yeah, constantly annoying when you get an AFK player in a game. A lot of them are, I'm afraid, bots, or players who just don't even bother to play the game. They just log in to a battle, press the play button. They are fully aware of what's going on. They just don't play because they expect to pick up XP based on what other people do. And they do it purely so they can advance through the tech tree by collecting the small and paltry amounts of XP that they get for just sitting in the cap, or the spawn point rather, doing absolutely nothing. Baked has loaded the APCR, and he's going to need it on the Matilda, who's come into sight. Now he could fire at the moment, but obviously it would hit the buildings. He might have to pull back though when that Matilda gets into the cap, and he's waiting until he's getting into the circle before he starts, because you don't want that guy retreating to the buildings. And the first shot didn't pen, but he's going for the weak spot. And you can see he's having difficulty. Oh, and that was an HE round. Now, deal with the Panzer 1 Aslains first, and then you can deal with the other ones. Okay. Panzer S35's attacking from the other side. Now he gets the weak side spots of the Matilda, and he'll just keep bumping these rounds in whilst the guy's exposed. Make sure it goes for somewhere you can pen though. That's better. Yeah, he's getting them in now. That's his most dangerous opponent. The Panzer S35 is doing a great job, and the Panzer 1C is just having no effect whatsoever, other than giving Baked a a steel wall, or a Not Spartan, but a steel wall. And there goes the Panzer 1. And the last enemy is a Samur S35, which is the French version of the Samur. We lost our Panzer S35, which is the German version of the same tank. And he's firing as much as he can, but he's only firing AP. And so I think now Baked has realised he can win this very easily. Just get close, get hits. He was right to stay away from the Matilda. If he'd stayed too close to that guy, he would have ended up dying in this game. But by staying away, he actually got hits at long range. In fact, actually, the Matilda player actually did the right thing to actually keep his front two baked. But unfortunately, the S35 was hitting him in the side, so he had to turn. And as a result, he actually ended up getting badly mauled. One more shot. Oh, no, two more shots. Here we go. Kill shot. He's not firing. I think he's trying to build up a steel wall. I think he's deliberately letting this guy shoot him so he can end up with a steel wall. No, he's actually building up a defender medal. That's what it is. He's letting this guy attack him and bounce rounds off him and then building up all the cap points. And as soon as he's ready, he will shoot the guy in the side, pick up his defender and win the game. Oh, he's ready. And that's it. He's won. But did he get a high caliber because he shot his teammates? Well, we'll find out very shortly. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, it's a very good game, and he was lucky. His shooting at his teammates didn't actually hit them, and therefore he didn't get disqualified. He got an ace tanker in that game for the Pz.Kpfw. He also got a duelist for taking down 2 tanks to damage him, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly. A shell proof for blocking more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle. A fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, and a hand of God for surviving the battle, having received damage from 4 different enemy tanks. On top of that, he picked up a cool headed for blocking or surviving at least 10 ricochets, non-penetrating shots in a row, and most of that was down to the Panzer 1C trying to shoot him with his little pop gun, which was absolutely having no effect whatsoever other than awarding a medal. He also got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, a top gun for getting at least 6 kills, and this time he ended up with 8, but there's no medal, there's no Radley Walters for a tier 4 tank. You only get it if you're tier 5 and above. And he also got a defender medal for allowing that Panzer S35 to build, not Panzer S35, sorry, that Samur S35 to build up enough cap points before he shot him, so he had 70 defense points in total, which is rather cheeky. And also a steel wall for blocking the most damage in the game, surviving at least 11 hits and surviving the battle. And yes, he deliberately let that Samur keep shooting him all the time, so he knew that he was building up more and more block damage until he got to the point where he was quite satisfied. Yes, he was going to get a steel wall medal out of it as well. Very cheeky, but also very knowledgeable about exactly how many shells had hit him and how many more he needed in order to get the medals. His win rate from that battle was 20,960, which is super unicum and a lot more, but it was mainly down to the fact that he was being extremely cheeky. He's probably played this Pz.Kpfw B2740F a lot of times. I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen hundreds of battles in this vehicle, possibly even as many as 1,000 battles in this, but we'll have to see if he actually has had that. But he certainly knows that how to play the enemy in such a way as to ensure that he won. If he had actually gone up close to that Matilda, he would have died. By staying as far away as possible, he actually was able to pen the guy and win the game. Have a look at team score. 2,884 hit points of damage. Only one other player managed to get over 1,000, and that was the Matilda. So if he'd continued around the map until he got to the enemy cap and tried to cap out there, the Matilda probably would have taken him down. 1,103 to him. And the next high score after that was that Samur S35 with 993. When it came to kills, he had the highest number of those, 8. And the nearest enemy score, the nearest score was 1/4 of that value. That was the Valentine on his own team, the Matilda, the T29, BT7 and the Panzer 1C all got 2 kills as well. And when it came to base XP, he was the only player over 1,000 with 1,680. 595 went to the Valentine and then 583 went to the T116 on the enemy team. He fired 86 rounds in that game, got 75 direct hits, but only 61 penetrations. Some of those rounds just bounced off the target. He also did damage of 2,884 hit points, of which 103 were at more than 300 meters. He received 65 hits from the enemy in that game, only 4 of which actually penetrated, 54 non-penetrations, and 7 hits by way of splash, and those were the HE rounds. In fact, the fact that the Matilda was firing HE at him at all meant that he didn't have the 2-pounder. He had the stock gun, because you can't fire HE with the 2-pounder gun. If he'd had the 2-pounder gun, virtually every shot he fired at the Panzer B2 would have penetrated for sure. He blocked damage of 1,563 hit points in total, more than he needed actually. Spotted 2 enemy vehicles, damaged 11 of the enemy, killed 8, and did 99 defense points. So I think he was stringing that Samur along, not just for the steel wall, but also for the defender medal. On a premium count, he earned 69,321 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 13,785 credits. He receives 2,520 XP, got 1,260 for completing the mission events, and the same again for this being a premium vehicle, and took away 5,040 experience points altogether. So a very good game in the Panzer B2. It's not always on sale. It's one of those tanks that is rarely on sale, but sometimes it is on sale in a bundle, so you get other tanks with it. Either the Gross Tractor or another tank which is similar, which is also in a bundle. It's well worth getting because it's a fun tank. It's very similar to the Char B1, but it's just got slightly extra oomph. And of course the fact is that it can be used as a trainer for the German tank line, the German heavy tank line. So it's well worth getting it from that point of view alone, because you can train up all the crews you need for your Tigers and also your much higher tanks like the E75s and the E50s. Well, not the E50s, but the E75s and the E100s and so on. So yes, definitely get this if you can. It is a premium vehicle. As I say, it's only on sale occasionally. Wargaming don't put it on sale all the time, but when they do sell it, it is snapped up because it's relatively cheap because it's only tier 4. So if you can get one, do. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, please. And thanks for watching.